What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 11, episode 7. So we are still on the Erica damage control train on this episode. We start this episode off, we see the ladies doing what they doing at home, whatever. Sutton picks up Erica to take her out for a day at the spa, from one divorced wife to another soon-to-be divorced wife. And, she's got this whole kit for her, and she rents out the spa, which, I'm sure Bravo rented out the spa, but okay. She rents out the spa, and basically wants to let her know, listen, I'm here for you. I've been there and I've done that. I understand what you're going through. I understand what you're dealing with, and I am here for you. Again, Erica is taking the opportunity to show us, or to tell us about how horrible Tom was, right? She said, I know who Tom is. He's controlling, and he's this, and he's dismissive, and he's that. And, I know he's a nasty person, and I saw how he did his other ex-wives, and so I don't expect anything different. I know this is going to be hard. I know, that he's not going to just be gracious and just hand me, some money or whatever the situation is. And then again, Bravo showed that same clip. Listen, if y'all don't have no other clip to show us about how horrible of a person Tom is, just let it go. Stop showing us that same damn clip of him being dismissive of Erica, okay? Now, I know he didn't film a lot, so you may not have nothing more, but let it go. We get it. We saw it. We understand. Let it go. Then we see Crystal. So we'll get back to them as the day goes on. They do different activities and talk more. We'll get back to them. We see Crystal with her trainer, and Crystal said, listen, I've always fought with, struggled with body type. Of course, she shared with us that she was bulimic and things of that nature. And we see her daughter come out, and she says, listen, my daughter reminds me a lot of myself, and she's very strong-willed, and she's very this, and so when she sort of has her moments, I try not to deal with them with anger, because I know how I was at her age. If somebody came at me with anger, it just made it worse. And at one point, her daughter wants she comes out there to interrupt their session, and her mom says, listen, if you're going to join us or you're going to go back in the house. And she's like, no, I'm not. I don't want to go back in the house. And at one point, she calls all of them stupid. Now listen, I can't speak for nobody else, okay? I can only speak for me and mine. I understand having a stubborn child. I understand all of the above. But ma'am, what you not going to do is have your temper tantrum and call everybody stupid. And we just going to act like it's not a big deal. We're just going to act like we don't see it, we don't understand it, and it went right by us. No, ma'am. You don't get to be rude and disrespectful to everybody in the room because you having a moment. I know she 5, and I'm not saying it. I ain't saying beat her either. That ain't don't nobody say, oh, you bet. I ain't saying that. But what I am saying is the way it was handled ain't the way I would have handled it. But whatever. Okay. Whatever. Y'all do what y'all do. Okay. Now we back over to the spa, and Erica is still talking about Tom and how horrible it was. And she said, when she, Sutton says, and you could tell this is such an alley-oop question. Like, I feel like Erica told her, look, ask me this question, okay? She says, Erica, I just have to ask. Was the final straw for you when he didn't come to New York? And Erica was like, yeah. Me being on Broadway, it was all our hard work, coming to fruition, everything he had done to get me there, and he couldn't even come. He could have at least came for 24 hours, came, saw the show, and left. And I was out there by myself for 4 months, because remember, the show got shut down because of COVID. And I realized I can do this by myself. I am alone. And I'm out here having to make excuses, and they showed the clip of when she was on at the reunion, and she had to make an excuse about Tom not coming to the show to see her on Broadway. And she was like, well, he was going to come to the final show, but then when it got cut short, yada, yada, yada. Girl, you were supposed to be on Broadway for, I think, what was it, like 6 months to a year. I don't remember, but it was supposed to be a minute. And you mean to tell me that y'all was going to wait till the end? Girl, no. Girl, no. And so, of course, she was very dramatic in that moment. And she was very much, yes, he was supposed to. This is what it was supposed to be. And, and I just realized in that moment I was just alone. He couldn't even be bothered to come and see me. He could have just flown out for one day. For one day. Child. So anyway, that's the spa day. But Sutton, she was like, Sutton, I really appreciate it. You were really sweet. Thank you so much, for coming out and spending this time with me. And so, that's kind of what they did with that. Now, Garcelle is at the house, honey. The kids are there. She there. She got the housekeeper cooking the food. She said, listen, things, and whatever the housekeeper was cooking, it looked good. Did it look good, y'all? Anyway, we see her sons, they're 13, and she's got her assistant, and everything's, a whole lot going on, and it was cute to see the kids, and she's talking to them about dating again, and, it was fried cauliflower, because it looks so good. I got to get me some of that. Anyway, but she was just talking about how, being on a talk show was something she always wanted. She didn't anticipate she'd be doing it from her house. She thought she would be at a studio and all that good stuff. But, at the end of the day, she's on the talk and she really, really enjoys it. She said how she's, talking to her sons about dating. And they're typical teenage sons. They're like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. She was like, what you mean? Like, if we ever dated, you wouldn't, we're not doing that. No, we're not dating. And she was like, she's really worried because, and they were like, well, why would you want a boyfriend? And she was like, because I liked being married. I was wrong, married to the wrong person. But I did like being married. And so I want to find love again. And, y'all wouldn't be happy for me. And they just were not here for it. I thought it was funny, though. I thought it was really, really funny. But, honey, they were not here for it, okay? But, that's what 13-year-olds are going to say to their mama. Like, and she said that she's worried that she is not, that her one son is very, he very much misses that life. He said she said when he was younger, when it was her week to have him, he would say, I miss dad. And when she would get with dad, it was like, I miss mom. And so she said, I want them to understand that love is a good thing and marriage is a good thing. But, it's not always, it don't always work out, but it's a good thing. So then we see Erica and Lisa hanging out. It's Christmas time, honey, and they're on their way to get Erica some Christmas decorations because she don't have nothing for the house. She ain't take nothing. She don't have nothing. She said, there were a lot of things I could have taken, but I left all that stuff there. She said it just held a whole lot of, memories, and I just didn't want it. I just didn't want it. They talked about how all these rumors are out now about Erica having an affair and sleeping with all these different men, and her and Lisa are just cackling about it. Erica said, listen, at the end of the day, I don't care. If I cared, I would sue some people, but I don't care enough to sue. And I'm thinking, you can't really sue them. I mean, listen, bigger stars than you have tried, and ain't nobody, girl, please. Moving on. So then Lisa starts talking about the rumor about her daughter with Scott Disick. And she said, listen, it's a real thing, and I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, Scott is 30-something years old with 3 kids. My daughter's 19. Like, I'm not sure how I feel about it. And Erica was like, well, I can't really talk because, I was a 20-year-old messing with the 50-year-old, so I can't really speak on it. But, what I am going to say is don't make a big deal about it. Don't press it because, the more you push or pull, I should say, the closer it's going to push her to him. And so, if just let it run its course. Pray, that it doesn't become a bad situation, and be there if she needs you. And they asked how Harry's dealing with it, and Harry basically is saying the same thing. Like, listen, but remember, Harry was dating a woman 20 years older than him when he was in his 20s. So, it's one of those things where it's kind of like, I can't really say a whole lot because I kind of went through it myself, So anyway, they're in the Christmas shop, and it's one of those cute stores where everything is Christmas in the store, and it's a really nice thing, some really cute things. While they're there, Kyle calls and says, listen, I'm going to have a little cocktail party you know, I want you guys to come before they shut everything down again, because this was around Christmas and they were worried about, you know, another lockdown, which I think there was another temporary lockdown in California. And so she said, before they lock us all down again, I want you guys to come through and, you know, let's have a good time. Let's hang out, whatever. So they're going to do that. Lisa talks about the fact that she hasn't seen Lois, and this is going to probably be the first Christmas that she hasn't been able to spend with Lois, you know, and that's her mom. And so she's really, of course, bummed about that. So, once again, we're reminded about how all of this stuff affected us as far as COVID and our family. You know, the holidays were very different this year, you know, and all that good stuff. So, over to Kyle's house, you know, Kyle is talking about their daughter, the baby girl, is at that, you know, that I'm a teenager. I'm too cool to hang with y'all. Remember, you know, Portia was Kyle's right hand. You know, remember Portia was the one, right? And now Portia is, you know, she's a preteen. She has her bar mitzvah coming up, not bar mitzvah, her bar mitzvah. I hope I'm saying it right. Coming up, which is for Jewish girls, their rite of passage, like the boys have the bar mitzvah, their rite of passage, and she's just giving Kyle a hard time. And Kyle was like, you know, this is the age that I hate. You know, I went through it with all my girls, and it is just not fun. You know, and it's just not fun. And she talks about how Portia was really close with her sisters, with Sophia, and how ever since she's been in school, you know, she's out here at GW in DC, and she said ever since she's been in school, you know, they miss each other so much and they're so close. And I love the fact that my girls are so close. And so they actually had a surprise for her. Well, first, her bar mitzvah is coming up, and she doesn't feel prepared. She hasn't been practicing her, you know, her Hebrew like she should, and she just doesn't feel comfortable. And so they were talking about that. We got to get her ready, you know, so she's prepared. And she was just saying how her experience is going to be so much different, because it's not going to be the same experience with the big parties and the big events like her sisters had. And so that, you know, of course, she's upset about that. She said, you know, Portia hasn't even been on the campus of her new school. I guess she's in middle school now or something. And she said she hasn't even she hasn't even stepped foot on the premises. And so it's just different. It's just different. And so they're having this family dinner, and she ended up surprising her by flying in Sophie. That she wasn't supposed to come for another couple of days, but they brought her in early, and they surprised her. And baby Portia cried like a baby. I mean, she cried like a baby and fell out on the floor. And then they said, well, you know, because of COVID, she's got to quarantine. Even though she tested negative, we want her to quarantine for a day or two just to be sure. And Portia was like, this is worse than her being across town. Like, the fact that I can see her, but I can't touch her. But it was a whole moment. I mean, when she saw her sister, I mean, she screamed and she cried. Oh my gosh. It was so beautiful. It was so genuine, especially after seeing her being so mean to her mom, you know, in that teenager way. But it was a moment, and it was sweet. It really was. It was a sweet moment. So anyway, the next day, the ladies are going to Kyle's shindig, her cocktail hour, and Kathy goes to pick up Crystal. Listen, let me tell you something, Bravo. What you're not going to do is make me wait until the 37th hour of the episode before I get my Kathy Hilton fix, okay? I'm not sure what that's about, but get it together, Bravo, okay? So Kathy shows up. Crystal is sitting there in this cute outfit eating brownies, honey. And she gonna tell the housekeeper, can I have a brownie? You know, I don't really eat anything. Baby, the look that housekeeper gave her when she said she don't eat a lot. It was hilarious. She gave her that look like, you don't eat a lot, but you don't eat a little either. I don't know who told you don't eat a lot. I don't know where that's coming from, ma'am. And Kathy says, child, if I tried to eat me a brownie in a white outfit, I mean, that's all she wrote, right? So they head on out. Sutton is riding with Erica, I believe. No, Sutton is riding with... Who is Sutton riding with? Kyle. Was it Kyle? Erica and Lisa are riding together, and They had to pre-order their food, child. Erica was talking about all the steak she been eating. She said, I had steak last night for dinner. I had steak for breakfast, and I ordered a steak today. She said, so I guess I'll just have steak 3 days in a row or 2 days in a row. Lisa gonna say, well, I mean, I guess you're going through a divorce. She ain't getting the steak from, one place. I guess you got to get it from the other. I said, Lisa, if you don't go sit your ass. Damn. Crystal is talking to Kathy about one thing, and Kathy is sitting in the back of that car filing her nails, honey. And when Crystal got done saying what she was saying, Kathy said, I think I want to get those long claws. I think I want to get the long nails. Kathy is paying Crystal no attention, okay? I don't know what Crystal was talking about, and neither does Kathy. All right, yeah, Kyle and Sutton were riding together. And again, on their way over there, once again, what are they talking about? They are talking about the whole situation in the bathroom. I mean, the whole situation with Sutton walking in on Crystal. Listen, I'm done with it. I'm over it. I'm tired of talking about it. Can we let it go? I mean, can we just be like Elsa and let this thing go? I'm so sick of it. Anyway, we ain't, because we're going to be great to have a whole conversation about it. Now, listen. Dorit, bitch. One thing I would say about Dorit, and I said this to you guys before, Dorit is going to let you know what she has on. Dorit is not going to be a subtle, I have on Dolce & Gabbana, but you just have to know it's Dolce & Gabbana to know it's Dolce & Gabbana. Oh, I have on Fendi, but you just have to know that it's Fendi to know that I have on Fendi. No, ma'am. When Dorit wears an outfit and she wears a designer label, you are going to know that it is a designer because she is going to have all the branding. So she came in there with this. Now, let me tell you something. That Louis Vuitton trench coat, baby, was everything. When I say everything, I mean it was everything. Okay? But she had Louis Vuitton down to the shoes. Those Louis Vuitton shoes were cute too. The little pump, those were cute too. But that Louis Vuitton trench, bitch. Listen. It was everything. I know Dorit be getting on my nerves sometimes, but baby, she had it right this time. That outfit was everything. Now, I think she was a little overboard with the shirt. You didn't have to have on the branded Louis Vuitton turtleneck blouse. I mean, you could have just gave us a nice little top. But, do you. Okay? You and your stylist, y'all do what y'all do. So the ladies are, having drinks and cocktails, and they have the finger food set out and all that good stuff. And once again, Lisa is talking about the whole Scott Disick situation, saying, listen, I mean, I don't know, should I reach out to Kris, talking about Kris Kardashian, well, Kris Jenner. Should I reach out to her? I mean, should I say something? I mean, I don't know. I mean, and I'm like, Kris ain't got nothing to do with that. Kris is Kourtney's mama. Like, I know Scott is connected to the Kardashians, and I know that, I think Kris is his agent or whatever, but I'm like, if y'all don't that is not, anyway. So, all the ladies have an opinion on what they would or would not do when it comes to Lisa's 19-year-old daughter dating this 30-something-year-old man with 3 kids. But at the end of the day, she's 19. I mean, short of financially cutting her off, there's really nothing Lisa can do. I mean, Lisa, there's nothing she can do, honestly. Kathy Hilton said, listen, as somebody who knows a little something about their children being in the, spotlight, listen, there's nothing you can do. Like, all you can do is just be there if and when things don't work out. That's all you can do. I know a little something about this. There ain't nothing you can do about it, okay? And then Kathy Hilton told Mazel Tov, Merry Christmas. She was like, cheers, best wishes, Merry Christmas. Okay, Kathy. So then Garcelle shared her story. Garcelle has an older son who has dealt with addiction, and she's talked a little bit about him. And she said, when my son, we struggled with my son for a long time, a very long time. And when he met she said the woman's name, but his girlfriend, she had 3 kids already. And I remember thinking, oh Lord. And when she popped up pregnant, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, oh no. She said, but that relationship and his son is the best thing that's ever happened to him. And it has helped him get to where he needs to be faster than any other thing we tried to do, any other rehab or any other program. She said, so sometimes it's a blessing and you really don't know what it is. And she said, now those other kids have become my grandkids. He's given me, a biological grandson. And listen, at the end of the day, we are all one big happy family, and he has come back to us. So, it may not be bad. It may not turn out to be bad. Okay. Then we get into this whole conversation once again about the damn violation. And now they want to argue about the word violation. And Crystal then brought up the definition of what violation means, and that it don't have nothing to do with sex. It just means invasion of personal space and this, and this, and this, and that. And what I feel like, first of all, I'm tired of talking about it. But I understood what the ladies were trying to say. The ladies were like, listen, in this climate, you just have to be very careful about your words. Because we live in a cancel culture, and you don't want something to get a label. When you start saying violation, people automatically think sexual. Crystal was like, that ain't the definition, and if that's what people think, oh well, that's on them, they dumb. Here's what I'm gonna say about that. I understand 100% where Crystal is coming from. The word is the word. But Crystal, stop acting like you don't understand what they were trying to tell you. And what they were trying to let you know is, yes, you felt some kind of way. But at the end of the day, the words you used could have been very inflammatory. And all we're saying is maybe you could have chosen a different way of explaining it rather than use the word violate. Because we're talking about a woman who's naked and she's saying she felt violated. And that could have very easily went left. Crystal was like, well, I ain't backing up off of it. I ain't backing down from it. I said what the fuck I said. That's it, and that is all. So, again, I understand where the ladies are coming from, because the word can be taken in a very inflammatory way. And now we find out that Sutton said that she thought Crystal told her to come in. She said, I didn't even touch you. Like, I don't know what you mean violated. Like, I dropped the coat and I left. And when you see the clip, unless it's edited, that's literally what she did. But anyway, y'all, I'm not about to sit here because I feel like next week's episode, well, it was this week's episode that I got to get caught up on, but I feel like it was the same conversation. So anyway, it is what it is. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.